Look at these lower lows, lower highs on Cardano just for months falling, testing the patience of Cardano holders. All the while, when that's happening, right, this consolidation for Bitcoin, for crypto, for ADA, all the while, we have just kind of these fear headlines, these nonsense misinformation headlines as it relates to Cardano. This is nothing new, but I think it makes these kind of environments where Cardano's struggling, it makes it even tougher. All altcoins have to deal with this. All of crypto has to deal with this, but Cardano has to deal with it, I think, in a greater sense. And this is the case over the years. And I want to discuss these things. I want to talk about short-term price analysis, the target for Cardano. I want to talk about midterm, exiting this downward trend that Cardano is in. Hit the subscribe, hit the like. I appreciate you cruising through today. I hope you're having a good weekend. Let's jump into the video. Here's Cardano on the weekly. We're going to talk about these charts, but I was talking about this article that came out. The article labels Cardano as an Ethereum clone blockchain. This is false. Cardano has significant differences from Ethereum. And I want to take that a step further. Energy efficient, right? Cardano. What is Ethereum now doing? They're trying to become energy efficient. Scalability. The EU TXO model that Cardano has innovated, Ethereum now shifting to this kind of scalability focus. Sharding is kind of a focus. Rigorous development that Cardano has. Ethereum Foundation realizing the importance of that research. And then proof of stake first. I mean, if you look at this is from 2020, Cardano 101, explaining Cardano's proof of stake. Why is that? Because Cardano launched proof of stake years and years and years ago. And here's one 2 years later, Ethereum switches to proof of stake consensus. So I posted and I was basically like, if anything, Ethereum is trying to become a Cardano clone. Cardano pioneered proof of stake years before Ethereum. And I want to say, no hate on Ethereum, everybody. But in instances like this, I do want to just put general facts out there. This is just general data. Because there's a ton of people running with this false headline, and I do want to just sit here and do a video and discuss it briefly, and then we'll dive into charts and all that. But Cardano pioneered proof of stake years before Ethereum. Cardano introduced the EU TXO model, built from ground up. Ethereum didn't. Ethereum's evolving, that's for sure, and we see it changing. We see them making pivots, but it's clear who led the charge on these innovations. So it really is like, it's almost like Ethereum is slowly becoming a clone of Cardano and what they're trying to accomplish. Cardano's ahead of the game with its research. And I just think that. And Forbes can write all the articles they want because they're Forbes, but it does not make it so. And be careful by the media out there, everybody, because this was a post from a couple of years ago I did. Nice things being said about Cardano by both Forbes. Look at this. Forbes saying nice things. Cardano's an Ethereum rival, according to Forbes years ago, and now it's a clone. It's all misinformation, everybody. Don't pay attention to it. And I just wanted to get that out there. I want to talk about Cardano charts. Real quick, though, I want to point out this post by World Mobile. It's the sponsor of today's video. World Mobile, they've been an ongoing, just multi-year collaborator of CCV. I've gotten to know the team over there. Just awesome, awesome team. But did you see this? And this relates to Cardano a little bit. So, and I want to speak to that in this very brief clip, and then we'll look at Cardano charts. But a major UK government agency just called World Mobile the Airbnb of the telecommunications industry. This project's like no other. I posted this the other day, and you can just see the Department of Business and travel. Meet the Airbnb of the telecommunications industry. Watch how World Mobile Group is incentivizing people from all corners of the globe. There's people, I think, even maybe in the Cardano space that's like, man, but World Mobile's going multi-chain. World Mobile, they left Cardano. And I want to just say this because this is my perspective, and I think this is the reality of it. World Mobile, everybody, started on Cardano. And the very fact, I'm grateful for the fact that as a Cardano fan, right? I'm just grateful for the fact World Mobile, Mickey and the team saw Cardano for what it is to build in the proper way, in the secure environment type of way on Cardano. And now, even more grateful that they have this multi-chain approach. Multi-chain, everybody, I want to say this. If you see any Cardano project going multi-chain, this is a phenomenal thing, especially if you want Cardano adoption across chains and interoperability. World Mobile and what they're doing now, they're doing this to enhance flexibility and to enhance interoperability This is why they're doing this. And that's a really big deal. World Mobile getting called out by G7 nation states, multi-chain audit finished this month. I want to give a highlight in today's video on World Mobile because the team, they're doing insane, exceptional things. And it seems like there's no stopping them, especially as they are entering this era of interoperability and, you know, the flexibility of what they're building. So let's dive into the charts. This is what we're looking at. This is ADA on the weekly. I'm kind of excited to go over this weekly chart because I found something as it actually relates to this massive setup over here. This was the bottoming out of the bear market low. There is the bottoming out of the bear market low here, last cycle. And I found something there, and I want to discuss that. First, let me just talk about the daily chart. I want to show you something as far as maybe the next potential short-term move, and then we'll dive into that weekly chart, maybe a more mid-term move, the exit out of this bearish environment into a potential bull run, a really nice bull run for Cardano, just like last cycle. So lower lows on the daily, and we're talking about all the way back here was, you know, this was January. This is earlier in the year. It's just been falling. I want to just point something out on this chart. It's the daily RSI. Notice ADA was just oversold. The reason why, and this is such a simple indicator for me, and again, there's no guarantees in the consistencies of these things, but the consistencies of these things, they just offer me hints and offer me areas more specifically to look for on a Cardano chart. So what I mean by that is this RSI oversold and kind of just exiting that oversold now. What is most likely? And from historical context, most likely is ADA is going to test these moving averages. I'm talking about the 20-day around 37 cents and the 50-day around 39 cents. And you might just be like, well, I mean, that's not that like crazy of a thing because ADA is almost there. It's like around 35 cents right now. For ADA to make that move, ADA would need to see a move of around 8 to 12 or so percent. That's not that crazy. That could happen within hours. But the reason I'm bringing that up is because hey, there's a really strong possibility it will happen. But what happens when that does happen? That's what I want to explore. That's what I'm waiting for. It's that confirmation on the shorter term. And if you look at this RSI, let me minimize the stock RSI, quicker moving momentum oscillator. But here's the RSI. If you just look at right here, for instance, here's the RSI oversold. What did ADA do? It took some days, but it pulled into the 20-day moving average and the 50-day moving average and failed to break above. What did ADA do back here? Oversold. And this is all in this move that we're talking about, this lower low, lower high move. What did ADA do even in this one? This is right before Bitcoin halving. It failed to break above the 20. It did pull into it, right? But it failed to break above. And this is what we're waiting for. We're waiting for that to flip. We're waiting for that to shift, meaning ADA does pull into these moving averages, and it could be just a single candle moving into it. It could just be trickling sideways, even down a little bit, and just waiting for the 20-day and the 50-day to kind of fall with ADA, continuing, and then we're meeting it, and then finally we're breaking above it. It doesn't have to be this explosive move through, but when it tests it, no matter how it tests, whether it's testing the 20-day moving average tomorrow at around 37 cents, right, which is around where it is right now, or it's all the way over here and towards the end of August and it's around 35 cents or something, or even lower, what happens? Does ADA break through and start putting in daily candle closes above these moving averages? This is what we want to see. The shift of the moving averages for ADA and then support above. At this moment, and I don't know how this will happen, when it will happen, if it will happen, but at that moment, that's when we start saying, you know what? We have a shorter term flip of momentum for ADA. Now we can start talking about on the weekly chart some things that are going on over here. And I just want to point this out. This technical move, this pattern here, this descending triangle, target of like 95 cents, massive setup. This is the bottom of the bear market. But even more so, the technical soundness of the move, that is to say, the throwback to the actual upper trend line is insane. I don't know if this is going to play out. I don't know if we're going to hit a 95 cent target. But if we do, this will be one of the most epic patterns in the history of Cardano. And if we look at the last bear cycle, you can see ADA put in a very similar type of falling or, descending triangle. And ADA hit its target. It hit its target, which we're going to talk about in just a minute as it compares to the current target of 95 cents. ADA hit its target around 25, 26 cents back then. But one thing it didn't do is just this throwback to the pattern first before hitting the target. And that's something that is almost potentially getting ready to happen for ADA now. This assumes that ADA will make its way to 95 cents. And I'm like you, everybody. Not only do I want ADA to hit 95 cents, I want that to be the beginning. I want it to cruise to $1, $2, $3 and higher. Okay? I'm there with you. This is stepping stones though. What I want to discuss is if we look at the last cycle and this descending triangle, it was after the Bitcoin halving, it was around, if we measure the time frame it took for ADA to even break this 25 cent 25 cent target, it took around 224 days, okay? After the Bitcoin halving to do that. And if you look at the chart, that was ADA finally exploding into its nice bull run. Now, if we look at ADA right now, there's the descending triangle that we just discussed. After the Bitcoin halving, 224 days, I just want to give you a sense, takes us to December, the beginning of December. I'm not sitting here saying it's going to take that long to get to a target of 95 cents, but I am saying if it did, this is what ADA did last cycle to make a move like that, a strong parabolic move like that to really kick things off. And if you actually even look at last cycle from all-time high, when it finally hit that target of around 25 cents, ADA was down still 81 cents from all-time high at that moment. Still down. This cycle, if ADA hits its target of 95 cents, it'll be down 68%. So ADA even in a better, stronger position this cycle around. I do want to make a note of this to be fair. The amount of time that ADA took to break from the upper trend line of the triangle last cycle to the target was shorter. That was 231 days or so. Because you notice it broke out of that triangle right around Bitcoin halving. This cycle around, we're already past that. From the breakout, ADA is like already 273 days after. And it's the same price as it was then. I'm not saying that this counts a potential breakout move to the 95 cent target. It doesn't. But this is absolutely testing the patience of ADA holders, especially on the macro. I know on the zoomed in, it's kind of like, oh man, this is frustrating. On the shorter term, keep falling. But think about it on the macro. I've been doing these videos on crypto through the entire bear market. But I've been here before. You go to a Bitcoin chart. I started this YouTube channel like somewhere around here, right? So I went through that entire bear market doing YouTube videos. I went through this last bear market doing YouTube videos. And it's these moments that we're waiting for, right? And we're getting close, I think, as it relates to crypto, Bitcoin charts, and even these ADA charts. But these are stepping stones. So I wanted to just kind of break that down for you, what I'm watching, what I'm waiting for, and only time will tell what happens next, everybody. But I'm just hanging out here. I appreciate you cruising through. If you're not a subscriber, please hit the subscribe, hit that like. I'll see you all in the next video. God bless.